So you want to go back to Egypt? Well, that's what we did. And this time, Benjamin went with us. As his sword protector, I vowed that he would not leave my side 1 second. I was also extremely curious about the relationship that the prime minister had. He asking questions about our family, and in particular, Benjamin.
It will be so good to see Simeon again. I felt so bad when we had to leave him behind in Egypt. I wish the Egyptians would have kept me instead. He must feel like we've abandoned him by now. But who could blame him? It's been so long. I wonder if that's how Joseph felt. Joseph. Somehow, I just know that this is all connected to Joseph and what we did to him.
When we got to Egypt, we immediately notified the authorities that we were there upon direct command of the prime minister, who had told us to come back with our little brother. They brought us water, and we washed up after our long journey, and then they escorted us into a banquet hall. I don't get these Egyptians.
They brought Simeon to us. He had so many questions. Mostly he wanted to know why had it taken so long for us to get back to him. He thought something awful must have happened to us on our way home, or that the Egyptians had put us back into prison. Well, I wish I could have told him something like that. The truth, that our father didn't want to leave Benjamin to come back with us to save him, was far harder for him to hear. After a moment with Simeon, they led us into this enormous banquet hall where the prime minister was waiting for us. The same man that had asked us so many questions the last time about our family. We presented Benjamin to him, and he asked again about our father. Well, after that, they had us seated at tables. And I don't know how they did it, but they had us seated exactly in order, from oldest to youngest. And then, the greatest feast that I've ever seen was laid before us.
Man, those Egyptians know how to party. They did. They put out such an incredible feast, foods we had never seen in our whole lives. I was mainly concerned about getting out of there, getting back home. I didn't trust the head Egyptian. The first time we were there, he threw us in prison. And now he was showing us this incredible feast. It didn't add up to me, and it wasn't making sense.
The next day after the banquet, they loaded up our donkeys with more food than we had brought money for and wished us a safe journey. Simeon was back with us, and Benjamin was safe, and he was still with us. God had shown us mercy, even though we didn't deserve it. When we came back to Egypt, I was convinced we were going to end up back in prison again for what we did to Joseph. But now, we were safely on our way home.
I knew it was too good to be true. We were just a few hours' journey outside the city. We looked behind us, and we were being pursued by Egyptian soldiers on horses and chariots. I drew my knife, and I got Benjamin by my side, because if anything was going to happen to him, they were going to have to kill me first.
The Egyptians surrounded us and separated us from our things. As they began searching our belongings, they told us that the silver cup that belonged to the prime minister was missing, and they accused one of us of taking it. Well, I know that none of us would have taken the cup, so I started to explain this to them when they found the cup in Benjamin's things. My heart sank. I knew that this would be the death of Benjamin and the death of our father when he found out. My heart was broken. The best the rest of us could ever expect would be to end up in some Egyptian prison for the rest of our lives. God's judgment has finally come. Our family will be wiped out because of what we did to Joseph.